Hello YouTube, what is going on? Today, this is what we're using. Sorry, she's already dirty and has been very broken in. But today I'm using the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette. Woo! I have been following this palette since Jaclyn has been talking about it. She said it was in the making for over 2 years, and I've been watching her for so long, and I've been very, very, very excited about this palette. I knew 100% it would be amazing. I own Morphe palettes. One of the ones I most commonly use is the 350 palette, I think is what it's called. And I love that one, and I knew the formula was going to be even better for this palette, which it is. These colors are so beautiful. First of all, here's what it looks like. Let's give it its own little moment. These are the colors. This is the packaging. It has her little name and such on it, and this on the back. Yeah, I knew these colors were going to be beautiful in person, and I knew they were going to work amazing. These colors and shadows are seriously effortless to use. The second I put them on my eye, they're blended out to perfection. It takes no effort. They're also pigmented and creamy. I really don't have any cons to the formula of it. I love the formula. I think anybody that doesn't love the formula just doesn't understand the quality of high quality shadows, I guess. Some cons are, you know, the white packaging. It does get dirty, which it's gonna get dirty anyway. It's makeup. All of my makeup is dirty, so it doesn't really matter. The mirror aspect, but again, a mirror's not the big deal. It's really how the shadows perform, and they perform great. So yeah, pretty much. I think for the price point, you really do get what you've paid for. If it was plastic packaging and had a mirror and had the names on it and this, that, and the other, and all the reasons why a lot of people don't like it, it wouldn't be the price that it is. I think for these very high quality shadows, the price is outstanding. Like, it's great. I would pay that for half of these shadows probably, because if you think about it, it's the same price as one of these. Like, that's like not even like arguable really, because I'd rather use these shadows than these shadows. So honestly, I think the price point, the quality, everything about this palette is good, and I don't just say that because I like Jaclyn Hill, but I think this is a great palette, and the second I use this is the first look I have ever done with it. Not today, but I'm recreating this look. But a few weeks ago when I opened up this palette, I wanted to do a first impressions and review and everything on it, but I already knew I was gonna love it, and I could not wait. Like, I literally had to sit down and use it that second. I could not film. So this is the first look that I've ever done with the palette, and then I decided to recreate it for today because it does use two colored shadows, like some of the more exciting colors, not just like a more neutral color, which I have plenty of neutral looks on my channel, so I thought I would share this little green one with you because when I did this made me fall in love with this palette. So maybe from this video you can get a little bit of inspiration and learn how to use the palette, and yeah. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe before you leave, and let's just get on into the video. Okay, so I have all of my makeup, face makeup done, and now let's just start the eyeshadow. I'm so excited. So pretty. So here's the palette. It's beautiful. Today's focus is going to be on these two shades right down here, the dark green and then like the shimmerier green. I already have my lids primed and they're set with a skin tone eyeshadow. In the Beauty Killer palette I used China White. This is my favorite lid setting shade. That is one thing that I really wish was in the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, was a all over lid shade, because there's not one. We do have two light shimmery colors. I think one of those could be a normal skin tone shade, but I'd much rather have all these extra colors than have a skin tone shade that you can get from a translucent powder, any other palette, your face powder. So I totally understand why it's not in the palette, but it is very convenient because whenever I go to use this, I always go for a skin tone shade to set my primer, and I never have one. So to start off, I'm going to start off just like I would any other eyeshadow look. I'm going to grab some warm crease shades. I think I'm going to start off with this shade right here. I don't have the slip that has all the names on it. I don't know what happened to it, but I don't have it. That's all that I know. And I'm taking the crease shades on a Morphe R37 brush. And I'm just going to go back and forth in the crease in the windshield wiper motions just to deepen up my crease and really build up that transition. Alright, so now that I have that color built up into the crease, I'm going to grab a mixture of these two shades in the palette right here. They're pretty similar, and they're pretty similar to the first color I used, but I am just going to grab a mixture of those two and put them right over the first shade that I put on my lids, but maybe just keep it closer to the lid and blow it out a little bit less. Next, I'll be taking this shade in the palette. It's a little bit more of like a mustardy yellow brown. It's kind of an odd shade, and you don't think that would look good on your eyes, but it really does add a lot of depth and dimension into a look. As you can see, after applying that right on top of those shades, the little bit of a difference that it gives the two sides. And a little trick that I like to do is take this stark yellow that is in the palette, and I'll take a little tiny bit of it on the tip of my brush and just sort of put it right in the very upper crease just to make sure everything is super blended up there. That just adds a really nice gradient effect with all of your colors. So now for the darker shades. I'm going to take this brush. It's the Morphe M562, and it's like a fluffy blending brush, but it's really like flimsy and precise, and I hope this is going to work for it. If it's not, I'll just switch my brushes. I can't exactly remember what I did last time I did this look, or what brush I used, so I'm going to try this one out and see where I get, but I'm going to go straight in with that dark green shade. It's the matte one. And I'm just going to coat my brush in that, tap off some excess. Thought I'd get a little closer for this so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm going to apply this right to the outer corner of the eye. Really just sort of place that in my outer V socket area. Placing it where you want the most pigmentation and the most concentration of your color, and then you go ahead and blend out from there. So I am kind of blending with this brush because, like I said, it is a little fluffy, so I'm kind of blending as I go, but so far this is what we have. Alright, so next I'm going to switch over to a little bit bigger and more dense of a brush. This is a Sigma E25, and I'm going to pick up that same dark green shade, and I'm just going to make sure it's pretty dark on that outer corner. And then once I have the color that I want, I'm just going to ever so slightly blend this out and sort of bring it into the inner corner just a little bit. Next, I'm going to go in with the first blending brush that we used. It is clean, and I'm going to go over the edges of that and just ensure that it is super blended out. I'm going to go back in with that small, precise blending brush again and pack on that color, because this seems to really pack on the color better than any other brush does. And then go back in with that blending brush and blend it out a little bit. You can totally make this more blown out with the green. I kind of wanted to keep it a little lower and a little more concentrated, but you can really do whatever you want to do with that. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my finger, because I think using your finger to apply shimmery eyeshadows is way easier than using a flat packing brush and wetting it. I just like prefer using my finger. I don't know. So I'm going to take the shimmery green right on my finger and just sort of press and swipe that right on to my lid. Now that I have that green on, I did get a very small amount of fallout, but I just wanted to... So I had a little bit of fallout, so it just sweeps right away. It didn't give me any complications or any problems or any of that nature. I'm gonna go back in with that color we took the, or that brush we took the green on, the Sigma one, and I'm gonna grab a little bit more of that green and really work it into the shimmery green that we just applied on the inner. A fly just landed on my head. That we put on the inner corner of that. On that same little defining brush that we started off with the green, I'm going to take the black in the palette and I'm going to grab just a little bit of this and just sort of put that right in the outer corner just for some ultimate darkness, but nothing too wild. Okay, so now that we have all of that blended out and everything is on, we can sort of move on a little bit. I'm going to take a pencil brush, a clean one if I can find one. I'm going to take a pencil brush and highlight my brow bone. I'm going to use the second shade in on the palette, and that is going to be my brow bone highlight. And then I'm going to highlight my inner corner with that as well. What I thought would go really, really good with this look is a little bit of gold glitter. So I've used this in plenty of my videos. It is just my favorite glitter ever. This is the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Midnight Cowboy glitter. It's just like a gold one. And I think the gold will really complement the warm tones in the crease and then the greens on the lid. So I'm going to apply a little bit of that right there. And then I'll just take my pinky and sort of pat it all over that green, everywhere that I applied that green. I'm going to take this little defining brush. It's a Morphe M432. It's just like a flat, dense defining brush. I don't really know how to explain it. And I'm going to take some of the matte green shade. And I'm really going to put that close to my lower lashes and just sort of line my lower lash line from inner corner to outer corner. And then I'm going to take a blending brush and use the very last crease shade that we put on our eyes and blend and buff that out. And then for my liner, I'm actually going to take the black in the palette on that same defining brush. Coat the brush with the black and put it close to my upper lashes. Okay, and that is all for the eyeshadow. I'm going to go ahead and apply mascara and some lashes, and I'll be back to finish off the rest of the video. Alright you guys, so this is the completed look, lashes, mascara, and all. I hope that you learned something cool today and got an idea for this palette on, you know, a way to use some of the more fun colors in the palette. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, peace out.